Thanks for the invite. I know you bought multiple tickets.
I've been planning to get her. Is she gonna get back home?
Are you going on Friday? Are you going? You also told me last time that you would take me back for the frequency.
And then you
And once they're out,
I kept trying to
to
go. I kept trying to get your attention. You just kept walking back and forth. Catch you yesterday and I didn't.
No, he literally like put me clear on the other side and then took a selfie with all of them. The only reason that I was remembered is because somebody came and got me and said, Crystal, why don't you sit in these reject seats that nobody came for?
These reject seats.
They were the seats that nobody came for.
Well, you don't have to make it sound so ugly.
Well, you are not ugly, you are
Right next to play. No.
Now, as long as you know what you're doing.
I used to be. You know what?
So do we I don't like starting late.
You literally got up and moved across the room for me this morning.
Over my.
Hot chocolate.
I bought this in
Perfect.
Okay, so the action being taken is just the authority.
They actually break it. Yesterday they started wearing trees out, yeah.
You found
Actually, yeah, she started doing some stuff.
That's actually a big step.
It is, yeah.
She even went to the other side. So she
No, I didn't.
She was there because she loved me. Sorry, no, me. He's showing you the messages.
You're mad at play.
And then she was mad that John was sitting, and I got you, sit closer, he could have. I sent a text, I was like, there's a chair right here, Chris wants to come. Yeah, and that's literally what he said, he's like, there's a spare chair right here, Chris wants to come over.
Well, next year, we
You
probably
did
better.
phenomenal, and I noticed that you put us on an end again, so very good.
Next year, we probably better make sure that we place her by the check and then we can assign her.
I mean, I'm happy to use her in a week or two, I'm just gonna be like, I'd love to know.
You're so ridiculous.
I am ridiculous.
Okay, so accountability. We're waiting on council. Normally, I'm not the type that likes to start late, but I've been informed by my guidance here that we need to have a quorum before we can start, so.
Online?
Yeah, Sebastian and
Brad wouldn't want to come.
No.
It's our anniversary.
Be a short meeting.
They were across the arena.
Taking it on. The other online is Sebastian's on Ryan's side. Natalie, I assume it's not good. Because there's.
Yeah, that's what House said.
Kim, are you attempting to call either Victor or Debbie?
I just messaged Debbie, asked her if she was coming. I'm just working on Victor right now, so we'll see. Even if they can jump online as they travel, we'll.
Is anybody excited about a day off tomorrow? I'm good.
We just more questions if you Michelle. Tickets to give you flexibility. I'll work tomorrow, but have a different day. I'm gonna take Monday. There'll be a big chair between us too, so that you can take a picture. And I saw how big it was, and I was like, oh, I don't wanna print that.
don't know what to say about that.
What do you mean to me? I was giving you gold. That's so funny, and you're like, she must be busy. I know, and then I responded to you and I'm like, oh, crap. It's just typical. Exactly. No, I
Nothing
said,
new.
I didn't think it was a problem.
Okay.
You're just like, I don't.
Well, that's like, oh my. But whatever.
And just make whatever changes you want.
No response? So we have to wait to start, we can't even do the prayer and the pledge before they get here? Oh, yeah, I know, yeah, I understand that. Well, let's do that, I feel like we're starting something, so if you, Sebastian's already on.
We got two.
Okay, let's go ahead and stand. We're gonna do a prayer and a pledge. What's that? You tell him no excuses. Okay. Here we go. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this morning. Thank you for the many blessings that we receive. Thankful for Doug and his team, Lord, for all the work that they have put in to discuss this budget and just to give the council and everyone involved discernment. And we just thank you again for all you do in this special weekend, 3-day weekend for a lot of employees. So give them some rest and relaxation in thy name, amen. Okay, we'll say the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I guess we will have a recess until we get a quorum. Okay, and so we wait till we see, okay, not on yet.
Did I hear, is Victor gonna join online? Okay, so we'll just wait to see them and then, okay. And once they pop up, we can pick it up.
We need Debbie or Victor on. So how many of you how many went to the rodeo so far? John, you, okay. What is your? My mic's off. Are we on now or waiting?
Perfect.
Thanks.
Member pop on the teams, I'll start.
Okay, then we'll do it. Debbie, okay. Good morning, Councilwoman Scott, can you hear us? Councilwoman Skog, are you able to hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
It's unmuted now. Councilwoman Skog, just confirming that you are able to hear us.
Yes,
All right, thank you. You make the quorum, so you were key. All right.
thank you.
Okay,
Apologize.
so, Madam Clerk, if you do roll, please.
Skog,
Present.
Jingula, Bills,
Present.
Reynolds,
Present.
Rodriguez, Griffin,
Present.
All right, so
Four
we
present,
do have a,
two
we do
absent.
have a quorum, so we will proceed. And this is a one theme action item, is my understanding this morning. And mainly from our finance department, where Doug and Chris will bring presentation. Anybody else presenting besides you two?
As needed, the department leads can come up to the podium and speak if there's specific projects in
Okay, so
question.
the action item, and then I'm going to just go ahead and turn it over to you, okay? Action item is council discussion and vote on fiscal year 2027 capital budgets and grant-related capital. And we're off.
Mayor and council, as we did last year, the intent of this meeting is to present the budget, capital budget for fiscal 2027. This budget is the combined work of Chris Boaz partnering with all of the departments who generate their particular budgetary requests. The budget includes capital purchase items such as large vehicles and equipment. Mostly it's made up of projects for water, wastewater irrigation, and so forth. The intent is to approve this as a budgetary value, but each of these items will come forward back to council during the course of the next year as action items for formal approval. So as long as the amount is over $50,000, which the vast majority of these are, I don't know if there's really any of them less than 50,000. There might be one, maybe two. But this is the process to approve the budget. The process to approve the actual initiation of the project, I said, will come back as individual action items. So you get a second bite at the apple on each of these projects. The goal, one of the biggest goals we've got this year, and we're partly there, we'll keep working on it, is to bring the budget more in line with what we can actually do during the course of any given year. We find that over the past years, we have great budgets built, but frequently we do not bring them to completion. I think in the last couple of years, we've completed maybe 50 to 60% of the capital budget. Part of that is out of our control. If we're dealing with granting agencies or other state agencies that have an impact, we have to rely partly on them. But most of it's within our control. So the intent is to help bring the budget of the capital items closer to what we can actually do. This is going to be a multi-step process, but it's a good start for us. So Chris, I got to commend Chris. This has been his beast to tame, and it's been challenging across the city. But all of that, we've got most of the department heads here who will join us with water, wastewater, streets, and talk about individual projects as you need. The presentation will be done from a summary page. Chris will go through the outline of the book, summary pages that show the projects, and then as needed, refer back to the capital budget book, which you all have as needed as we go through this. The intent is to get through this in the next 2 hours to complete the budgetary process so that as soon as we're done, the departments that can then begin planning on some of these projects for 2027 and not wait until the successive year to actually begin the planning and hopefully take a second step in finding ways to complete our projects more timely. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chris Boaz and let him start the process. And want to make sure, though, that everybody online can see the FY20 capital presentation page.
We can.
Okay, good. All right, so we're good to go ahead and continue. Chris?
Thank you, Doug. Mayor and council, just for the record, Chris Boaz, Capital and Grants Manager. As Doug said, this is my beast, this is my baby. I want to address a few things. First of all, council members on the dais, you have a couple additions to what we call our CWP, our capital work plan. The first one in that paperclip section is pages 1 through 26. We had a last-minute change this week, and it's amazing how one number will affect so many pages of our book. So that is the first section, and then you'll see that orange sticky note on there. That is tab 14, pages 229 through 232. And so when we're going through this, we will be referring to those new pages because they have the correct totals on them.
And so for those that are online, we'll show those pages on screen if you don't have them. I don't think they, no. Yeah, for people online, you won't have those pages. We will save them for you, but you'll be able to see them on screen.
Oops. Here we go. All right, just wanted to go through just a high level of today's process. First off, I want to say a couple thank yous because this book doesn't get completed without help from across the city. Heather Tafoya and her team over in Public Works, Jerry Celeste, Parks and Rec, Cody and Jennifer, Police Department, Kelly, Karina, Trish, Captain Skogland, the finance team, Doug, Leslie, especially Trinity with their help on formatting. This book looks a lot better than it did this year or last year because of Trinity's hard work on it. So we want to get into the just very brief overview of the CWP. Our goal for this is to provide council with as much financial forethought so you guys can make the most informed decisions now. And then we're gonna go through a few items to note, just administrative items, and then we'll get into the meat of this book. We'll review the funding sources and summaries. We'll review how each section is set up, and that's the division overview. And then we'll talk about the approvals and how we want to do this. We can do each division as we go. As you can see, there are 22 tabs, so that would be 22 different approvals, or we can do one at the end with any changes that you have suggested. So that is up to the will of the council. And like Doug said earlier, the approval is for the authority to budget, not the authority to spend. Any project or expense over $50,000 will come back before you during a council meeting, so you will have a second chance to get eyes on each expense over $50,000. So we move on to our items to note. Just real quick, we have our replacement vehicles are based off of Doug Adams and his team's work and their 10-year vehicle replacement plan. Where possible, we've stretched vehicles additional years. This year specifically, I think we've done a fantastic job of repurposing vehicles. There have been some water vehicles going to parks. There have been some airport vehicles going to IT. And so I think we've done a good job to be financial fiscal stewards of the city's budget. Next, we have some departments and divisions do not have any FY27 requests. So the first page you will see is their 5-year request. There are some departments that cannot project out past our next fiscal year. An example of this is CDBG, because each year that their budget is set or allocated by council, so we can't project what we're going to spend for that specific department. There are a few combined tabs. We have Dev Services Admin or Development Services Admin and Development Engineering, Parks and Recreation, and then all the golf funds are combined into one section as well. So right here we have a overview of all of our funding sources. If you'll note, we have a few that we normally don't have on there. As you can see, the top line in the FY27 column is General Government Fund. And we have Development Services, which is about 2/3 of the way down there. Both of those amounts are for one specific project, and that is the Purdom Drain. We wanted to show you this just so you can see where the funds are coming from. Even though they will be spent out of the wastewater department, the funding is actually coming from General Gov Development Services. I do want to note that the General Gov portion will be repaid over time. We're working with wastewater to figure out a mechanism on how to do that exactly. So our overall total for this year is $105,538,388. So right here we have, we start moving through our summaries. This first one is for FY27 capital requests, and this is broken out by the division, which is each one of those rows going down numerically, and then the columns going across is we have our funding sources. So the fund, that incorporates fund balance and revenue from FY27. The next column is our Gen Gov funded. That is our what we call our 310 fund. That is capital that is funded out of our general government. Next, we have our grants column. Then we have our impact fees. And then that final column on your right is the proposed budget by each division for FY27.
I think this is about the only place you'll see the multiple funding sources. So when you look at parks or streets or irrigation, wastewater, you see 3 or 4 funding sources. Their fund, grants, and impact fees. That's a common process. And it's very common for having one project to have multiple funding sources, but this is the one place you'll see those 3 sources.
And again, this is page 9 in the actual CWP book. The following pages in the book give you the detail. They give you by project name. So if you do want to get more detail, you can do that in the book itself. The next summary we have is Gen Gov capital requests, which is on page 15 of the CWP. And the second column from the left is FY27. It's the one with the brackets around it. Again, this breaks down by division what we're going to be spending, not only in FY27, but this gives us good insight to where we are headed in the future. And if you look down at the very bottom right-hand corner, you'll see the total of $39,747,146. That's a big chunk of change over the next 5 years, all coming from general gov funds. So this is where we stress being good fiscal stewards. This is where we get creative when it comes to phasing projects, repurposing vehicles. This is where the creativity comes in.
And just for reference.
Just a quick interruption, Chris. Will you read that total number again? Because I'm reading a slightly different number.
The
39 million?
747,100.
My book says 547.
So this is part of that, those replacement pages.
Replacements,
In-
okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
so that has, it was a $200,000 request or change in the numbers, and that's where that difference is.
But just a thought, the way we use this book, if you look at the police operations line, you can see that this year, we've got $1.3 million, mostly in vehicles. Next year, that goes up to 1.7, the following year, 1.8, the following year, 2.3. Most of this is fed to us by Doug Adams. He does an absolutely fantastic job of predicting the vehicle needs. And this helps us get ahead of what's coming down the road, so we know where we need to go. We know in the next 3 years, the replacement value for vehicles will continue to increase and continue to be a challenge for us to meet. But this gives us a capacity to look ahead.
That's great. My only request is that Doug can share that crystal ball with everyone. Okay, I appreciate that.
All right, next we move on to our summary 3, which is, this is the most inclusive summary that we have. It's our 5-year request by division. This is every project and expense that we know about so far over the course of the next 5 years. As you can see down in the bottom right-hand corner, that is another large chunk of change, the $360 million. And this is just to give you guys an insight of what is coming down the road. But if you look at the FY27 column, you'll see the totals matching from summary number 1 that broke it up by funding source. Real quick, we wanted to add this one in here. This one is actually not in your book. This is a summary by object code. And what our object codes do is they break down the type of capital expenses. So we have our land, buildings, other improvements, which is mainly used by our Parks Department, vehicles, equipment, water and sewer lines, and then construction projects at the very bottom. So this is to give you just a little more insight on how the expenses are breaking down by type. All right, so next we're almost to the meat of the book, which is our, all the tab sections. So each one of these sections, the format repeats itself. We have a title page. Well, sorry, let me start. We have the table of contents, which has the tab number and the page number that each section starts on. Each section has the title page with a brief introduction about the division, and then we have a summary of the FY27 capital request broken out by funding sources. If you flip that title page over, you will see all of the capital requests over the next 5 years. And then from there on, we start moving into we call them the project detailed templates or sheets. That gives you the most amount of information about each project, the prior year spend, the future year spend, where that money's coming from, what council district it's in, just a little bit more of a deep dive on each project. So before we start moving through the sections, do we have any questions from council? All right.
Basically, when you get to the summary or to the end, you walk back down through and as far as which items we want to put on hold or.
Yeah, yes, we
Have
can.
more information about or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I will keep a running total of what changes we want to make as we move through this process. And then if we want to wait till the end to approve one final number, we can do some quick math and get that number to you before we do the final approval.
Mayor,
Yes, Councilwoman Scott.
I just request that you keep us informed on pages that you're on.
We'll do each one of the slides
you.
has a page and a tab number.
Oh, okay, thank you.
All right. If there are no further
Do
questions.
you want information as we go or you want to wait till the end and?
I think if you have a question about various projects, let's get that as we go, so we don't have to wait till get to the end, because you may forget. So as we go through each department, look at the list of projects on the screen. You can determine whether you want to ask questions. We can bring up the lead from that department and explain it. And if there are no questions, we can just move on to the next department. And like I said, but let me ask a question. Let's formalize this, Mayor and President. Do you want to approve these one department at a time, or go down to the very bottom and improve the total value of capital? I think it might be more, from my perspective, it might take slightly longer, but I would approve it one department at a time, but that's just me.
Is that as far as at the end or just after each discussion?
At the end of each total department's discussion, not by project.
Yeah, Council President, of course, has been at this the last couple years, so I think I would probably go ahead and ask him, but as far as personally, I think that makes sense.
Well, it's fine to do it as we go, as far as the summary.
Right.
It's just,
How about as far as the?
we're looking at summary pages, so do you want to work off of those?
We'll work
Is that
off the
where you
summary
want to
pages.
work off of?
The ones that Chris will show on the screen will be the summary pages we will go off of. They will match identically what's in your book. And I think we present from those and approve from those. However, should council want to dig deep into a project, we can go to the book and open up the page where the specific project is and look at the details there if there's a question that council would like to go into, and have the department heads come up and explain
So
it.
if you don't mind, let me put that out to council who are present. What would be your suggestion as far as how we continue with this process? Anyone? You asked that,
Mayor.
very surprised. Okay.
Oh.
Go ahead.
I saw Debbie on mute, so I was going to let her go first, but I think
Go for it.
Councilwoman
by the
Scott.
by the department or project would be my preference rather than holistically at the very end. But I have a follow-up question after Councilwoman Skog.
Okay,
I'm, Mayor,
yes.
I'm in favor of project, at one project at a time as we go through it.
Mayor. Councilor.
Same as what,
Skog? I don't know
yes.
how,
Question, Councilwoman Skog, a question from
yeah.
Doug.
So if you go through each individual project, we will probably be here a very long time doing that. We're willing to.
Yes, okay, that's
Depart-
okay. Let's do, department at a time then. Yes, department at a time is fine.
Okay.
And this is, I mean, the final result is what I'm hearing is this is just the okay as far as action is going to be.
This
as
is
far
okay
as
to budget,
Yeah.
not to spend.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, any other input?
Yeah, Mayor Brunner.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to say that same thing too. This is not a final. This is just to kind of get an estimate of what we're doing. So I'm good with each department.
Okay, so let me just clarify. Are we taking action after each department? Is
By
that
each-
what you're hearing?
Each department.
So that's how we will proceed.
Mayor, follow-up question?
Yes, I'm sorry. You told me there was going to be one. Go ahead, Council.
That's okay. You've all heard me state it before. I'm just curious, within this budget book with the 105 million proposed, are we within our, not spending authority, but do we have the funds available to be able to complete each of these projects? I know there's going to be some here or there that we might raise the flag on and say, well, maybe we want to hold off, maybe we don't. I just want to confirm, do we have the capable funds to do all of these, and what the purpose of stopping specific problems or projects would be if we have this spending authority?
Yeah, we have, and I have in front of me a list of the fund balances by department. But typically what you'll see when you go to water, wastewater, irrigation, the spend is a combination of part operation and part fund balance. Yes, we have the funding to complete all of these projects as approved by council, should you approve them. We have more projects, however, over the course of 5 years, we have more projects than funds. Our challenge has been completing the budgeted projects, but we have ample funds to complete the projects presented today.
So could you clarify for me, Doug or Chris, how much are we shortfalling ourselves if we start a project this year but can't complete it by year 5, or have a project that we're planning on in year 5? What's the differential between actual funds and that shortfall? You mentioned that when we look at this holistically, we do not have enough funds in 5 years.
Well,
By how much?
No, let me clarify. We will have to go through that by department because each fund balance is different and each capital request is different. For instance, water renewal has got approximately $55 million of fund balance, and I think the capital for water renewal is what? 31 million. So they're only spending 31 of their $55 million fund balance, but they have other projects in play this year that will affect that fund balance. So it's a dynamic question that we can answer in a more flexible setting, but the complete answer to that won't be available to you until we share the operational budget on the 15th of July. But we've gone through that internally with finance, so I know that we have sufficient funds. But when I say we have more projects and funds, when you look at all the development projects that come before council for new subdivisions, and the big questions are, where do we find the funds to do the roads? You know, the question becomes long-term, how do we best meet the needs of the city? And that's not the purpose of this particular meeting. The purpose of this meeting is to identify projects that can be done this year to in part meet those goals. But Councilman Sebastian, what you're talking about is a very substantial question that should be addressed by mayor and council, but perhaps not in full in this meeting.
Thank you. Understood.
All right, with that being said, we're going to move into our tab 1, which is page 27 of the book, which is our facilities department. A couple things that I wanted to point out here just real quick. For the IH2C specifically, we have just under $900,000 budgeted, as you can see, for stucco repair, HVAC, and roof replacement. And that bottom line item, the replacement vehicle of Ford Maverick with Shell for 90,000, that is actually 2 replacement vehicles, not just one. So I just wanted to clarify that. So currently we have a proposed budget for our facilities department of $1,368,400. Does council have any questions?
The biggest item on there looks like it's the HVAC replacement or investment in IH2C. That's the biggest set of items for them. The exterior stucco, the HVAC, and the roof replacement. Those are coming up to what, about a little over $850,000. That's the biggest chunk.
Okay, let's give it about 30 seconds. If there's no, let's move on.
Quick question.
Yes.
So how soon can we physically go forward on the IH2C improvements?
Yeah, come up here so they can hear.
Put those out to bid immediately.
And
Mr. Mayor?
that's the hope.
The turnaround would
Mr.
be
Mayor, point of order, could you please state your name and your title so
Kevin
people
Slasses,
online?
Facilities. We could put that out to bid in the next week or two. It would be 60 days approximately before we could see that implemented.
Well, this is for the FY27 budget, so putting it out to bid right now is perfect.
Yep.
With an execution date of October 1st or thereafter, but not later than that if we can do it.
Well, my concern is, you know, we're talking about roof replacement HVAC. We don't do that October, so then
No,
we're talking
true.
another year. So the question is, if we have
When would we do
funds, can we begin the project yet this year
If-
and get the roof work done and the HVAC done? Otherwise, we're another year in the comfort of the
Interrupting real
building.
quick. They cannot hear you. Again.
So,
We can hear online.
part of the challenge that I see in some of our facilities and our improvements is our timing. We approve under one set of months of the year, but some of the projects are affected by weather. And so when we approve a project at this point in time, and it's not going to physically get done for another year, and if there's an acute need on roof and HVAC replacement, it seems like we have to have a mechanism to say, yeah, we're approving the budget, but we've got to be able to move forward. We got cash on hand to get the job done.
We have sufficient fund balance. If council decided they wanted to do this now, we could amend it into the FY26 budget and then just not do it in the FY27 to spend the same amount of money just in a different time frame. We have the capacity to do that, should council request that.
So, council members, if we're keeping the IH2C and we believe we're going to repurpose it, and we're going to spend the money on these improvements, they should be underway now, rather than occupying the building at some point, and then we're changing out HVAC and we're changing out roof, which is a disruption to the occupancy of the building. So that's what I'm trying to ask the question on sequencing and as far as moving forward in the budget.
Yeah. Will of the
So
council there.
do you need discussion from the fellow council persons on how we handle this, whether it be an amendment for
No,
this?
because right now, what we're trying to do right now, Councilman, President Bill's exactly right to bring this up. Today's meeting is to approve the budget.
Right.
And then we can come back, put that on the
Okay.
agenda to get the actual bids going, but yeah.
And Chris, I know you're making notes on all this as far as, so for the next meeting when this can be brought up.
It seems like these issues were approved in FY26 and we just postponed doing them because we weren't sure if we were hanging on to the facility.
I think the IH2C has been discussed but not budgeted for in FY26.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Dritter, I also thought that 650,000 was a number we got last year. So have we refigured that now, or is that just the number we're going to use?
No, I think, if I might, Council President,
Yes.
we have been discussing this, and President Bills is right on track here. We've been discussing but not taking action. So this is the budgetary process, but if we want to take action, we need to have an action item for council, and we can do that and then roll the differences into the amendment. But Councilman Rodriguez, we've been talking about this for probably 6-8 months. just haven't pulled the trigger.
Okay, no, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure that we're not gonna get hit with another, with an increased price of that HVAC replacement, that's all.
Well, we can work out
Mayor?
whether it's FY '26 or '27, but from my perspective, if we're hanging on to the facility and we're gonna fix it, we need to get underway on getting it fixed.
So I think that facilities can take that as direction to start the bidding process, and then we can bring back the information for an action item this year.
Yeah.
Mayor?
Yes. Who's speaking?
I would be in agreement with Councilman Griffin. I would be in agreement with what Councilman Bills has proposed. And if there are any future capital projects that are needing to be done within the next reasonable amount of time, I think that we should have that all proposed and highlighted. I'm going through and highlighting as I can as well to have those just get done in 2026 rather than wait till 2027. So if there are multiple, or if it's just IH2C, if you could flag that for us so we can be aware for an amendment.
So as a point of just process, I would still propose that we approve it for the 27 budget until we finalize it in the 26 amendment. That way we're covered in both directions.
Agreed, thank you.
Chris.
So
Mayor, Council, if we're going to approve by each division or department, this is where we would need a motion in a second and a vote in order to approve the facilities budget for FY27.
Okay, do we have a motion on the?
I move to approve.
Second?
I'll second it.
Okay, we ready for roll call, please?
Gog,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Bills,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we'll move on to building safety. This one's short and simple. We have, I believe it's 3 vehicle replacements for $135,000. Just to note, the Chevy Trax is not what we are getting. It's the vehicle that is being replaced. As Doug Adams can attest to, that wasn't the best vehicle to purchase in the past.
So I move that we.
Move to approve.
Safety. Yep.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have our development services admin budget and development engineering budget, which is tab 3, page 43. For development services, again, this $9.3 million is part of the funding for the Purdom drain that is in the process of being built. And then we have vehicle replacements for engineering for $87,500.
And before council discusses, I want to make one point clear on this. The development service is the funding point, not the spending point. In the final budget, we will move this money out of development services and show it as a spend in wastewater renewal. So but this is where it's coming from. In the final budget, we will move it to where it's being spent at. No difference in the value, just where it's being spent.
Mayor Bruno, I have a question.
Yes, Councilman.
Is this coming from the bond that we passed, or is this totally separate?
This has nothing to do with a bond. This is coming from the Development Services Fund balance, which right now stands at about $19 million, which is aggregated by the various inspections and fees they generate over the course of the last 5, 6, 7 years. So this is an accumulation of funds. And to me, finance, it seems appropriate that this goes back into the investment process from which it came, meaning contractors and developers pay us the fees and we invest it back into the development of the city. That's my perspective only, though.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have our Community Development Block Grant, also known as CDBG, which is tab 5, page 51.
What
These are the,
about code enforcement?
did I skip?
That's tab 4.
There's no capital expense there.
You're correct, sorry, Mayor, Council President, we did skip tab 4 because there are no FY27 capital purchases.
Okay, great, thank you.
Sorry for that.
I see that. I just saw numbers on a page, so I, okay.
All right, so again, we're moving on to our CDBG grant. These are all projects that Matt has worked with our various departments, whether that's Public Works or Parks, and identifying areas that need to be improved and utilizing our HUD money in order to do those things. So we have a total of $575,553, all which is grant funded.
So move.
Move to approve. Second.
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have general government, which is tab 6, page 59. Again, this $2.2 million is part of the funding for the Purdom drain. And like Doug previously said, this is the funding source in the final budget. These expenses will be moved to wastewater, the actual expenses will occur.
And probably worth pointing out that this is $2.5 million out of about a $7 million total over the next 3 years. But this is just the first installment.
Mayor Brunner, this is what's confusing sometimes when you start switching money from here to there. This number will actually be in there. It won't be paid out, right, in 27.
The belief is that with the very well-developed plan to build the Purdom drain, this money will be leveraged in FY27 to fund a section of the Purdom drain completion, with additional funds coming in FY28. We have a complete document, Councilman Rodriguez, and the council we can share with you, and we have in the past, and we can do so again, which shows the entire build over time and the entire funding structure over time. But that's a more complex document. We have shared it with council, but we can, more than willing to do so again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. If we have already approved this, but I don't remember the 2.2 number.
It's a part of.
No, it's just part of the total.
Okay, thank you.
Do we hear a motion?
So moved.
Hear a second?
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right. Next, we have IT, and they have just four items, and for a total of tab 7, page 63, for a total of $229,100, all coming from general gov.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Bills,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have Parks and Recreation. The reason these are combined is funding sources. The majority of Parks and all of Recreation are GenGov funded. So we have quite a few projects for the Parks Department. A couple that I wanted to point out, the OR Pathway. This has been a team effort between Streets and Parks. Crystal has done a great job advocating for this project and actually receiving advanced funds so that those funds do not have to come out of the city's pocket. We also have $3.6 million budgeted out of impact fees for the completion of Midway Park. And the last one I want to mention was the West Park irrigation, which is that bottom line on the park section. This is the final installment of $1.1 million total project. So we have 4 parks. We have a total proposed budget of $5,914,058. And for recreation, we have a total proposed budget of $25,000.
Mayor Brunner?
Yes, Councilman.
So, Council, I was thinking about Lakeview Rose Garden gazebo, 145,000. I don't know that that's a priority, but I just want to question that and see what you all think.
Okay, we have Chief of Staff Clay coming up for, take that discussion question.
Good morning, Council. Clay Long, Chief of Staff. The 145 was budgeted. There's another option that they can do that's less. The intent of this one, instead of buying a package deal, was to pay tribute to the original home on that facility or on that property, and having the gazebo have some features of that original house that was set there. It is at its lifespan. It's a very old gazebo that's there, so that's the ask that's up there. I believe the other value or ballpark was around 90,000 to go with the more of a package deal as opposed to having it custom built. So that is the option.
Thank you.
Mayor,
Yes.
I think one of the things that I'm having difficulty wrapping my arms around is what our priorities are, and even what we're able to do if we want to attain those priorities. If my options are, we need to fund more infrastructure improvements, this is directly taken away from those funds. I don't want to put in a new gazebo. I want to help replace the pipeline on Davis. Is this something that, because I think we're dealing with such big dollar amounts in such, not vague terms. I think you all have done an exceptional job of putting together the book and the budget. But what I'm having difficulty is if we're planning to levy in November or asking our constituents to support a levy in November, are we trying to find every dollar amount that we can save in other projects to fund infrastructure first? Is that something that's even discussed right now? That's every budget item that we approve, I have pause because I say, well, I don't think this should be a priority right now. But are we talking about 2 different pots of money and 2 different ways of attaining that money?
No, Councilor, may I respond? I think that, Councilor Griffin, that's exactly the right question to be asking. You have this time and also when it would come forward for approval, but we do have a significant deferred maintenance. So I think it's exactly the right question to ask. Should we be investing in a gazebo when we know we've got damaged roads, damaged water systems that need more attention? We're presenting what the budgets have been requested by the departments. We're not necessarily advocating for or against any of these because that's the council's position. But I would look at this exactly from that perspective, Councilor, and say, not only in this meeting, but when they come forward for approval to you for actual beginning of the project, but yeah, challenge it. And if it's designed, or if the council determines that they don't want to move forward with that one right now, they can take Clay's option or ask that it come back later in amendment or not address it at all until we resolve deferred maintenance issues. That's council's prerogative to do so.
Follow up.
Go ahead. President.
Do we have, oh, go ahead. Councilman Griffin or President? I know, I apologize.
President Bales has the floor, please.
So there's 3 things in my mind that we should be setting aside and pooling money for the infrastructure deferred maintenance. One's the $500K on the terminal building at the airport. The other is $400K at the scattering garden and $145 on gazebo. So I'm kind of making a list of items to see whether we can pull monies together to help move a couple other infrastructure projects forward. We still have to work out the management side, the capacity side, but just FYI, council, that's one thought I've been working on, so.
So I need clarification. So is this, Doug, what would you propose as the process here, where we're approval of the full amount, but then it can further down the line that we discuss the individual?
No, I think I would suggest that if you look at this and this has questionable value, we don't approve it in the budget.
Okay.
It can come back in as amendment anytime next year. Don't approve it in the budget, reduce
So
it.
motion could be made for non-approval, and if
Yeah.
there are the votes, and that's what would happen.
And then that becomes part of Councilor Bill's bucket of money we start accumulating for other issues.
So I think, council, you understand that, so motion, please.
You want these 3 items, or you want to wait till we get the full list?
Well, it's by department, so if there are more items in this department you want to pull out,
Okay.
And your other departments are yet to come?
yeah,
Yeah, I couldn't tell if we've already passed airport or if
No,
airport's still to come.
it's coming.
So
It's coming.
Be the same procedure then, as far as any of your list. Okay.
So I'd make a motion that we set aside the expenditure for the gazebo of 145.
Second.
and
Clarification, if I could, Mayor.
Discussion.
Do we have, either from Crystal or John or Tom, a number that we can actually attain in FY27 on deferred maintenance? If we focused our full priorities on deferred maintenance, do we have a number that we can take and say, okay, in FY27, if we use all of our resources, all of our contractors, we can do $23 million in deferred maintenance projects, or something within the ballpark that I can at least say, okay, the goal's 23 million. I'm going to find skinny on some of these budgets to go and attach to that 23 million. So when we request a levy for the next 2 years, I'm able to say, okay, it was originally 26 million that we could do, but we actually found $3 or $4 million within our capital budget. So now it's only 21 million or 22 million that we're requesting. Do we have any kind of number like that, rather than, oh, I just don't want a gazebo because I think we're going to be saving money? If I think we're saving money and ultimately we're not putting all that money directly into the deferred maintenance projects, I think we're just moving shells at this point. And that's what I'm needing clarification on.
Okay, we have Public Works Director Tom Points ready to respond.
Mayor, Council, so yeah, thank you for your support on the deferred maintenance. So we have provided a list to the mayor's office on projects that are needed in water and transportation. It's I think it was around 38 million. Realistically, we could probably only deliver about 20 million, 25 million in a year. Again, we've also said we need some people if we're going to do that. One of the things that is kind of important to note, that we need to get some things shelf-ready. All of our projects that we design we just immediately go to construction. So we need about a year in order to get some things shelf-ready on the transportation side, on pavement rehabs and water line replacements. And we're actively working on that right now. We've got a CAD tech that we hired that he's starting to work on that. But as far as a vote would go, as for the public, I think we might want to shoot for next year in May to give us a year to get all those shelf-ready things, because we don't want to ask for money and then not deliver. That'll look bad on the public's eyes, so we need to be ready for that. So we've got all our lists, we got everything in line. If you choose to give us some more funding for out of not funding a gazebo or something, and it adds up to around $1 million-ish or so, this next year we can start working on a pavement rehab. That's what I would recommend. John's already got some pipes that he's been replacing through the revenue enterprise funds. We do not have any pavement maintenance projects and we need it. Our pavement condition is very poor. 60% 65%, that's not okay. So we need to start working on that. And so that's something that we can focus on if you want to put some money towards infrastructure next fiscal year. Hope that answers the question.
A clarification if I could, Mayor.
Yes.
My preference would be a single dig project. So rather than pavement maintenance, unless it's an area where the pipelines we know have some longevity in them, longer than 5 years, I would not want to do, unless it's just simply pothole maintenance, I wouldn't want to repair major portions of the pavement if we're just going to go back in and dig in 3 to 5 years to replace the deferred maintenance on the pipeline. So are these pavement maintenance projects that ultimately have good infrastructure that are just needing repair or fill-ins, or what are you looking at there?
So, yeah, Mayor, Councilor, so yes, we do the one dig policy. If we're going to do a pavement maintenance project, we'll have John and Crystal coordinate that we get the pipes replaced and within the project, or the pipes in good condition, we don't have to worry about digging it back up. We 100% agree with you.
Thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions for Tom? Always has the mic. Okay, what I heard from you, Tom, is you're not going to turn down money this year, though, right? Okay, all right. Okay. Or do we, we've had a motion and a second, correct? So we're ready for a roll call.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Gog,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Mayor, Council, could I clarify? That motion was to extract the gazebo, but not necessarily to approve the capital budget for that period. So that was the
We need
motion.
another motion as far as.
We need a motion to approve
or
the
not
capital
approve.
budget net of the gazebo.
So the standing motion still stands, we just need a second motion? Okay.
I was thinking we had the airport monies in the other end, or it was strictly that vote was
No,
gazebo?
we're talking about
No,
still.
this is just the Parks and Recs.
Parks and Rec still.
Gazebo?
Overall as
Okay.
approving.
Thank you.
We'll keep track of that money, the 145, and any else you save, and we'll
We'll
designate
do
that.
it as
yeah.
one, yeah. So far as approval of the rest of parks, make a motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Parks and Rec, make a motion to approve that capital budget.
Second.
Didn't we just,
We just did.
we just,
We just did that.
We just did that one. Oh, you're talking about the recreation center?
Recreation Center.
I'm sorry.
Parks and Rec Recreation Center.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Thank you,
Yes.
President. Yes, you're correct.
Tab 9, page 119 on mine.
Get a second?
No, it's the
Second.
25,000.
Second.
So without you having present to Chris, this motion's already been made on this.
Sorry, Mayor and Council, just for clarification, Council President, was your motion for Recreation Division 6030 for the $25,000, or was it for the following Rec Center on tab 9, page 119?
Page 119, the Recreation Center.
Okay,
Total
with the
of
capital
600
budget.
Total of 626,000.
Perfect, thank you.
We got a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Gog,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, we move on to Cemetery, tab 10, page 137. And Council President, as you mentioned, this one does include the scattering garden. This is the third installment, which would give complete funding to this project for $486,850 for a total capital request of $501,850.
Yeah, so this is one for me, if we're going to be able to get capacity to get project infrastructure work going, I see this as one area of Gen Gov money that we would move towards that.
I think for clarity on this particular line item, it's worth noting that this is year 3 of an accumulating budgetary value that now totals, what's the total value on this one, Chris? It was like $1.1 million with prior approvals in the prior years adding up to about $700,000. I don't know how much work has been done on the scattering garden, if any to date, other than design, but this is year 3. So the actual amount you're talking about could be more than $400,000. It could be $1.1 million in actuality.
Do we have anyone that can report as far as progress on the garden?
Cody's online, he should be able to.
Yeah, good morning, council, mayor and council. Doug is correct. Construction has not started, but the project is out to bid with bids due on the 25th of this month. And the 1.1 is the total. The 486,850 would be the final funding year to bring it to the engineer's estimate for construction.
What will be the consequences of not doing the scattering garden, Cody, to the cemetery?
The plans are completed. We're out to bid. We would just not accept any of the bids if this funding didn't come through. And we would wait for a future funding year to start construction.
To clarify,
Delay is what I'm hearing. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
it says prior year construction, 668,000. Have we done 668,000 in construction on the scattering garden to date?
Mayor, Councilman Griffin, no.
How much have we spent on the design?
Sorry, Doug, I don't have that number in front of me. I can look that up and send it into the chat.
It will be a minor amount of the total spend, but I'm sure we've spent a little bit on the design, which could be put into storage and held on to. But the reality is, if you cancel this investment, you're actually freeing up $1.1 million of total spend, at least shifting it.
And to re-clarify, go ahead.
From my perspective, if we can develop the capacity to physically get the work done, instead of having more water lines blow up and more issues hit, or an intersection go into disrepair or unusable, I keep looking at wanting to set funds aside to then see if we can build capacity of being able to physically get the projects done. If we can't do that, then we can always come back and start the scattering garden. We can come back and start other things. It's just from a standpoint of time lapse, I just hate to see us continue to not deal with the infrastructure if we have the ability to deal with some of those priorities. I realize some of these other issues are important to certain people and they would be helpful. At the same time, I just don't want to continue to see what we're seeing if we have the ability to start getting after it with a crew, a hotshot crew, so to speak, who can manage the projects and get things done. So it's kind of a simultaneous down the budget. Part of it is where can we identify dollars and we hold on other projects and tentatively set that money aside. But if we're not successful and it's just sitting and not being used, then we come back and take care of these other projects that have been
So, Mayor and Council, what I propose then is that we approve the budgetary authority as it is, but we list this as a group of spends we can shift to the needs if we can meet with Tom and his team later to determine, can this actually be done this year? Because you're exactly right. It doesn't do us a lot of good to set the money aside and not use it. It's just a bucket of money that grows.
Right.
So I think we can budget this and then come back
What I
and
was
say,
hearing
okay.
from Tom is, I think, pretty confident that that they can spend the money for infrastructure. That they need another year as far as to prepare for a potential override.
Then it's council's will is how we proceed. We can delete the money, then rebuild the budget and put this into streets. And you could take the entire 1.1 million plus whatever else we come up with, the gazebo, and move that over. But I would still follow back and say, can this be accomplished? When could this be accomplished, given the fact that we have other projects ongoing?
And let me just just take a 30 seconds or whatever. My perception, trying to just be a citizen out there, but a concerned citizen, is that if we try to sell in a year, this override levy for infrastructure, if they start seeing even now, because they're not aware of the timeline in most cases or whatever, they start seeing all these extra things, which wish we could do them, but there's only one pot of money. The perception in my eyes as a citizen is, well, why are you spending your money for that if you're telling us you need our money for this override? So anyway, that's just my individual own opinion and perception.
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to address the timing of spending the money. So I'm taking notes, and I'm going to coordinate with John and Crystal, so we can start designing something shelf-ready on a pavement rehab and a water line replacement, so we can spend it in 27 if you're wanting to direct some money that way. What I'm referring to is the larger bucket of override money. We need a little more time on that one, but we can definitely deliver on an individual project around the million-ish, if that's the council desire.
It's tough enough to sell things that citizens cannot see, but prevention, I think everyone is aware. Those who were close to the pipeline breaks and so on are aware also that we need to get on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, motion?
Mayor?
Yes, Sebastian. I'm sorry.
I've got a motion. That's fine. I've got a motion to pull the scattering garden and reallocate to streets department.
Second.
Okay, roll call when our clerk is ready.
Bills,
Yes.
Reynolds,
No.
Rodriguez,
I'm having a hard time on this one, but I think the better for right now is yes.
Gog,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
4 in favor, 1 opposed, motion carries.
Mayor, clarification if I could.
Yes.
I'm pulling the pages out of the line items that we're pulling currently. It looks like we're at a nice grand total of 1,290,000. Actually, we're at 1,300,450. Tom, how much money are you needing for projects that can actually be completed in FY27? Because once again, I don't want to just be allocating dollars to streets department for projects and it just sits in the kitty and does nothing if we can actually do something with this money in FY27.
Councilman, because you're not here, we're making Tom just move a lot here with his crutch. So.
Somebody get him a mobile microphone. Let him sit.
Mayor, Councilman.
Use that for infrastructure.
Mayor, Councilman Griffin, for the record, Crystal Craig, Director of Transportation. We can, for $1 million, we can right-size the project for what's needed. We have a large list of deficiencies, and we've got probably a top 10 or 15 that need to be done, prioritized based on safety, the amount of maintenance it's requiring, and then the average daily traffic. So we can, if you give us 750 to $1 million, we could get something done for that. Up to like probably $2.5 million would get us a good chunk of roadway.
Well, we just approved getting rid of the gazebo and this scattering garden. I know the scattering garden was just 460,000, but the total budget, if you look at the previous years, is 668,000 included. You're at about $1.1 million there, plus the scattering or the gazebo. You're at 1.3 now, or 1.2 now. I apologize, 1.3 now. How much capacity do you all have in FY27? Because I have pages of things that I would say is not a priority, that right now I'm willing to give you the funds, but I just need assurances that because we're at 1.3 right now, if we get you up to $2, $3, $4 million after we pull a lot of these items out, can you get and actually attain those projects in FY27?
So Councilman Griffin, David Bills, capacity within Public Works right now is somewhat full based on a meeting we had. There's some areas that they have projects that they're going to be able to move on, or they'll be able to help get off dead center. If we keep funding and put a priority, it means we've got to put together additional personnel or a different set of crew to help oversee the project. But it's tough to put that together if we don't know what monies we have. So to me, we got to keep setting it aside, even if we get up to 2 or 3 million set aside, because then it tells us we got enough money to approach things in multiple ways, to get these deficits, these deficiencies brought forward.
Thank you. Understood. I will keep pulling items as we go.
But just for clarity, Mayor and Council, what you're proposing is technically two actions. One, to reduce this year's current budget proposal by the amount of the scattering garden this year, and to amend the budget to pull prior year approvals out of the fund balance into the budget. So those are two separate actions we'll have to add to make this, to build this bucket of money to spend with. So two different things going on at the same time.
So clarification, Doug, so if when there's ever a motion for a deletion of an item in a department, then there needs to be a second motion overall to?
Well, no, but in this particular case, because the amount, the nearly $700,000 that Councilor Sebastian refers to is budgeted in prior years, and so in essence has rolled into fund balance and doesn't have the budgetary authority to be spent elsewhere. It would take, we can do it, it just takes two accounting steps to make that a reality.
Okay, my question is there any further motion that needs to be made? Okay, so this is down the line then, all right.
Again, it's not that we're throwing these line items away, we're postponing them. And if we can build capacity to physically get the projects built, and we can get some of this deficit down in terms of what we've got that we're facing, then it's a postponement of the other, and we're after it. If we can't build the personnel, the contractors, the team to be able to get the work done, then we might as well stay with building a gazebo, and we might as well stay with these other items, because those items can probably get done.
You're
But it
correct.
doesn't do us any good to set aside several $1 million and have it sit for 3 or 4 years, because we don't have the capacity to get things done. And so you'll hear me again, because I'm working on how we're going to gain that capacity, how we're going to move to be able to get the projects that need to get done. I think it's atrocious to let water lines continue to blow up every other week or every couple of months and those type of deals.
So council has two options. One, to approve the budget as it is, and then let us come back and set aside these funds, say we'll approve the dollar value, set aside the funds, and then come back to council with the plan to not only reallocate them from the budget, but to determine when they'll be spent. Now, that's one option, or you can delete them now, we can create a bucket, and then you can still come back later.
What would you suggest, Doug? For you guys down the line, what?
I would suggest in this case that the council, because there's, personally, I believe we need clarity. I know Tom said they can get it done, they can get that done, but in doing that, does that mean something else does not get done? And I don't know the answer to that or not. They are working,
Yeah, we.
Mayor,
day to get things done.
Can I address that comment? So what has changed here recently is we've hired an in-house CAD technician. And so what that has allowed us to do is self-perform some work, so we don't have to have consultants do it. And some of these projects that we're talking about are pretty simple designs, and that we've got a very experienced CAD person that's actually studying engineering, so he does a lot of this stuff on his own. So I'm very confident with him in place and another person that Crystal and I are working on to bring on board, that we can do these designs, have them ready, and expend these funds on pavement maintenance and line replacement that you're talking about today, in that $1 to $2 million range in fiscal year 27. So we've got it, and I'm very pleased on where we're headed, because we're able to self-perform some of this stuff where we haven't in the past. And that was a vision that we had last budget cycle, was to put that person in place, and now we've got it. So hope that answers that question.
Doug, I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Councilman?
Yes, so I know this is a priority for me as well, so I agree with President Bills, but I also want to recall that we spoke about removing some of that, or I did, removing some of this money in general gov over to police. Personnel, that is. So is that still in the making, or is this specifically for infrastructure, et cetera?
If I might address that. Right now, that's a separate issue. The capital budget is focused on capital funding, which is primarily a different funding source than what we typically use to fund police operations. So I would separate the two issues and not try and mingle them together, because the capital funding is not necessarily leverageable in an operational setting, if you understand my meaning. Dedicated to capital, because if we need to stop capital, you can stop capital at any minute if you absolutely had to. Operational costs are much more difficult to stop if the funding capacity runs out. So
Okay, because I'm just thinking they just come from the same source.
No, they do not.
General gov.
Well, when we say general gov, let's add a little clarity around that. So the capital funds from general gov come from 3, maybe 4 total sources. 2.5 million of this comes from franchise fees. That's, you look at your bill for electric, gas, at the bottom is a little franchise fee. We collect those and we dedicate them to use in capital. We have interest income, which is good right now, but if we actually complete these projects, the interest income will go down. And then we have a small amount, well, about $900,000 or so, we shift from general gov, meaning it comes from property taxes and sales taxes, into it. That's the third. It's only a portion of that that's funded by technical general gov sources. So you don't want to put a operational expense into a capital budget, because the operational money may not be there next year. I mean, the capital money may not be there next year, if that makes sense.
Okay. All right, I got it. Thank you.
And then if we go ahead and bid the scattering garden, and we know where those numbers come in at, and it gives staff a little bit of time to then determine, are we going to be able to make use of those monies on these other projects? If not, then we go ahead and do the scattering garden. So we're not lost by finishing up bidding the project.
No.
And it tells us where that would actually come in at.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm being probably a little ignorant maybe to a certain extent here. So do we need to approve the full $501,850 for Parks and Rec, even though that may be dispersed in another area, or not?
We have 2 options. Do that, or we pull it out and set it aside and come back for a secondary approval later when we have all the money
So that money
aggregated.
gonna be in the cloud for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
we've pulled it based on the
We
motions
pull
we've
it,
taken.
and then we'll
It's
come
just
back and
I'm trying to
aggregate it.
add clarity. We go ahead and bid the project so that we know where we're at.
So at the end of the meeting today, we could take all these aggregated funds, say we want to pull these from their current sources, reallocate them to streets, and then I would build that into the next iteration of the budget for FY '27.
Okay, since it's been about 20 minutes, is our previous motion on this, is that going to
I
Chris?
thought it was to pull the scattering garden and
It
approve
was.
only the,
So where you can move on to the
I'm just
next
trying to give
department.
clarity that we're moving both items forward.
right.
So Cody's online, so Cody,
Yeah,
you have an
but
understanding?
we want to still bid the project and know how it's going to come in.
Well,
And there's other money already set aside, so whether the project starts,
right. So you can pull this
There's
money, it won't
options.
affect the cost of the bid, because we have prior authorization to pay for the bid and the design. It will just, we'll have to leave enough money to cover the cost of any design that we're paying for, and the rest of the authority, if council requests, we can allocate into a bucket for streets to use. It's just complex steps that I don't want to confuse council with. Finance can get it done if that's the desire.
We have confidence in you.
Okay, all right.
Forget this, so are we?
My head's starting to spin a little bit.
So, we've had the vote, are we ready to move on to the next department then?
We are ready. So next we have golf, which is tab 11, page 145. As you can see, there are 4 different divisions that make up our entire golf fund, 2 for Ridgecrest, 2 for Centennial. For FY '27, we have a total golf request of $992,120, all coming out of the golf fund itself.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, get my verbiage here. Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Bills,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Okay, we have 35 minutes and we're on 12?
12, yep, tab
Okay.
12.
Moving.
For
Let's go.
police, we have a total capital request of $1,515,462. And just wanted to point out, there are 12 vehicles that are being requested for a total of $1,068,000.
The only item that I'm looking at, Mayor, if I could, is the school resource officer radios totaling $56,000. Is there somebody from police that can speak to the absolute need of that? Because if not, I'm considering pulling that to throw into the kitty for deferred maintenance.
Yes, he's on his way and he's dressed up today. My gracious, all right.
Thank you, Mayor. Captain Eric Scoglin, Nampa Police Department. Councilman Griffin, those radios are for the school resource officers. What we have found with communication at the schools is that the design of the schools limits the ability to communicate on their radios. And so to fix that problem, we talked with Motorola and have tested a radio that does communicate much more consistently and better. And we feel that it increases the safety of the officers out in those schools in the event of emergency, to be able to communicate that to dispatch and get resources on the way.
And potentially the safety of the students.
Correct.
I will leave it alone. Move to approve the budget.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Bills,
Sorry, I thought you said Reynolds. Bills.
Bills,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have our 911, which is tab 13, page 222. This is for a total FY27 capital request of $342,120, all coming out of the 911 fund.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Next, we have our Nampa Civic Center, which is tab 14. This is the second portion of the handouts that were provided for you today. And Council Online, we will get you an updated copy of that. So the original request was for $400,000. The amended request is now for $600,000. Just a little bit of a history on this one. In FY26, we budgeted $250,000. And then this year as well, we received an additional $250,000 from the Nampa Auditorium District. So if council decides to approve this $600,000, that will get us to $1.1 million of the $1.3 million that is needed for this total project. And we do plan on going out to the Auditorium District again this year to fill in that final $200,000.
Thank you. That's going to be my question, if there was any reason the auditorium district couldn't distribute more than what they committed, okay? All right, council?
Mayor,
Right inside.
I'm having a hard time with this one as well. I understand the need. I appreciate the need. Is it absolutely crucial? And if it is, what's going to be our return on investment in bookings to see this money recouped? Because this is a general gov expense this year.
So, Councilor Griffin, Mayor and Councilor, it's a very valid question, how you proceed on this one. This is part of the deferred maintenance issue in the city proper, not the streets and waterways, but the city itself has its own internal deferred maintenance issue. And it's going to be a opportunity for council to decide how to move forward there. If you've ever been in those seats, they've been there like 40 years. They are falling apart. They are not ADA compliant. And we've been trying for years to find a way to fund this in other methods to replace those seats and use that as an asset to the community. The Civic Center itself continues to receive ongoing operational support every year from the city to the tune of about $390,000. I do not see that changing even with new seats put in. You might get more bookings out of that. You might not, but the current structure of the Civic Center is not designed to be a profit center. That has not been its intent because it's meant to be a community asset. So it comes back to the council to decide if this deferred maintenance issue is something that rises to the need of taking care of or pushing it off. But like I said, we've been probably 40 years on those seats, and this is one issue we keep, like others, we keep pushing it off because something else creeps ahead of it. So this is a council decision.
Yes, Clay Long is at the mic.
Good morning. Just to maybe a couple other comments. I think we continue to recognize there's more and more competition for these types of venues in the Treasure Valley. While we may not see an increase, I think we'll continue to see a decline in the use of that facility if we don't remain competitive with the competition of those venues. So maybe not an increase, but definitely we'll see a decrease if we don't upgrade this.
Probably foolish.
Mayor?
Yes, go ahead, Sebastian.
You can finish your statement. Foolish on your part on which issue?
Yeah, when you heard me say that, you knew you wanted to hear the end, right? There again, I will say this many, many times, probably in the next year and a half, my personal opinion, but philosophically, I'm not in favor of the city running these type of operations. To me, that's a private entity, capital, and if it's not making revenue, our Fort Idaho Center finally has turned around, but if it's not making revenue, I would hope, I don't know if it's even sellable, but as far as where it would be turned over to a private entity that could carry on the productions that are being made. So anyway, that's just my potential foolish statement, but that's just my philosophy on that.
Mayor, I had a discussion with Andrew on that topic a couple of years ago, Andrew, the manager from Oakview. And to make the Civic Center profitable would require a substantial capital investment far beyond the seats. Therefore, if you want to keep that as a city asset, the only path right now is for continued city support. Otherwise, it becomes, you can tear the building down, you could repurpose it, you could do anything you want, but I doubt you would get anybody interested in buying it for its intended purpose right now. So it would have to be changed.
And I guess I'll carry it even further if it wasn't for, there are so many venues. I don't believe a city should be in a competition for as far as entertainment. I think there's entertainment around the Treasure Valley, and I think we just have better ways of focusing our interests and dollars at this point in time. But that's my opinion.
Yeah.
So Mayor, I'll just do a quick
Mayor?
response. Sometime back when the granddaughter was performing there, I walked during kind of the intermission time, looked at all the plaques of all the personal donations and all the corporate donations into that facility 26, 27 years ago. So part of it is whether we want to stay in the venue business, yes. The other part of it is whether at some point, if we're not going to stay in the venue business, do we keep the facility then and let go of other facilities and move and use that facility for city operations? And or do we keep it such that it can house different, meetings and et cetera? So there's definitely a point when, and it may be needed soon, that there is a committee of sort from the community to gather and help make this decision.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But if the city does decide to keep it as a venue, to me, you don't let things go. You want guests coming in there and seeing when they walk in, they're impressed. I'm not sure about all the money being spent, but an example of that is a few of us were over in Caldwell for the ribbon cutting of the new sheriff's building. I mean, you walked in those doors and you go, my gracious, Canyon County has this now? So anyway, anything that the city is opening up, whether it's a rec center, golf courses, no longer the Fort Idaho Center, but it needs to be, to me, that's what I was taught when I was in the business world. From the parking lot to the entry, that is key in the experience while you're in there and also on the way out. And so if we can do that and have the funds to do that, but that's where the decision, in my opinion, needs to be made.
So finance's recommendation from this perspective would be, I would say approve the budget. You're approving the budgetary authority. You're not yet approving the spend. And then bring the committee back and say, let's look at this, see, what do we want to do with this? Approve the budget and then figure out what, if you actually want to spend it.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach. I think we got to decide if we're hanging on to the facility or not. And if we are, we got to continue to maintain it, just like we got to maintain roads and
Exactly.
other stuff. If we're not going to hang on to it, then we need to figure out the disposition. But I think it involves community involvement.
Yeah.
So right now, I'd move that we approve the capital budget on the Civic Center.
For a second?
Second. Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Cog,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have our Fleet Division, just tab 15, page 237. This is the remaining funding for the fleet building, which is $2,639,177 coming out of the GenGov Capital Fund.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Skog,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have Streets, tab 16, page 241. As you can see there, quite a list of projects, equipment, and vehicles. We do have a total FY27 capital request of $24,184,029. Are there any questions?
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Skog,
Yes.
Bills,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have our Traffic Division, tab 17, page 283. All these requests are coming from the Traffic Fund, which is shared with Streets. And we have a total FY27 request of $1,193,225.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Skog,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
Now we have our Airport, tab 18, page 307. This one does include the terminal building remodel, request for $1,500,000, which is funded out of the Airport Fund, and $500 coming from the GenGov Capital Fund. They have a total FY27 capital request of $1,375,000.
I think it's probably worth noting that the money coming from General Gov is coming from the capital fund, but it probably will not, I don't know that it will be spent in FY27. The intent, partial intent, was to get the design going and then help build the airport fund balance. to the point sufficient to complete the terminal if and when council approves it. So
Yeah, I think
I have
until,
I have a question for Crystal.
Councilman. Yeah, I'm Councilman Rodriguez, I'm sorry. I had two voices there.
Yes. So, Crystal, this is, if we're going on the same line of removing money for other projects, I'm having a hard time with this one because I know we need it. It's a benefit for us. But I need you to tell me, well, how much money's coming in from other sources that actually this is just a drop in the bucket for us.
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, for the record, Crystal Craig, Director of Transportation. So we have applied for, I want to say 5 rounds of grants for this, and we've been unsuccessful. I don't anticipate any alternative grants that would allow us another funding source for that. That means that we have to start exploring either self-funding it ourselves or getting creative through the use of like public-private partnerships and things like that. We've had conversations about fundraising, similar to how they do at the Civic Center, to see if there's ways to self-fund outside of just the city docket. But as it stands right now, all of the money in order to either renovate or new build that terminal is going to need to come from the airport fund.
So can we wait another year or two for this then?
I mean, I think we have to. We don't have the funds for it right now. We have to continue building the funds. I will say if there is another grant that comes available, showing that we have the match in our fund balance does typically make us score higher on grants, but that's not a guarantee that any grant will get there.
Okay, thank you. David, I'm going to kind of go with you on this one. I'm not sure where you're at, but I know you've been talking about it a lot, so let me hear you.
well, so what I did a while back in conjunction with talking with Lindsay and Crystal, and I went into the marketplace a little bit, and what I was seeing was potentially we could put together a private group who would build a new terminal building and lease the ground from the airport, and then lease the terminal building back to the FBO and the restaurant, et cetera. Unfortunately, the rents that the airport's been charging the current 2 users is substantially below market to construct a building and have a viable 5 to 7% return on that type of investment, which is low for that type of investment. So either we would go forward and do it and find new operators or not. The part that, so I stepped back because the FBO operator said he couldn't afford any more. It was a tough go at Nampa, and he just pulled back to his other sub-operation that he's got at another location on the airport, as I understood him to say. The difficulty is he flew in a new $2 million airplane. So he can't afford his operation at Nampa, and he's got several operations around the state. So then you scratch and say, okay, am I stepping into a bureaucracy or a situation that, is gonna be difficult to physically get a building done, get somebody in and occupied, namely also, the restaurant and use. It may take Nampa to get the terminal remodeled or rebuilt. The part that's difficult for me, though, is having it come from Gen Gov monies. I don't think the property taxpayer should necessarily be funding airport operations. And yet I don't have a solution at the moment to offer, but it's a struggle for me on the budgeting side.
Just for clarity, so when it comes from general gov, it's coming from general gov capital, of which only a portion of that funding flows through from the property tax value. So it's the franchise fees, it's the interest income, it's fund balance. So partially, yes, but not entirely from the city funds of sales tax and property tax.
But even so, every time I write a check for the power company, I'm paying the franchise fees.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the citizens of Nampa who are funding, and there's only a certain percentage who are using the facility. So there's a small percentage of the citizens of Nampa, they enjoy going out and hitting the restaurant. The restaurateur has done an excellent job with what they have space-wise. It's just, soon are we going to start building restaurants downtown Nampa and subsidize them so that the restaurant people will do and the atmosphere changes down there? I mean, at what point does government keep subsidizing, and at what point do we say the marketplace should take over and handle the improvements? So to me, it's a little bit of a philosophical issue for council and mayor.
I guess the question addressed that I don't know the complete answer to is, does that investment provide significant or does it provide enough economic lift across the community to justify the use of those funds in that? And I don't know the answer to that question.
I don't either. That's where, I defer to Lindsay, who's doing a great job at the airport, and this isn't anything against Crystal either. I think they've been doing a heck of a good job with what they've got funding-wise.
If I may just interject, and I don't want to do this.
I know our time.
Okay. I'm just curious, are there any projections, if this new terminal or a remodel or whatever the case is that going to bring more economic dollars to Nampa? Are more planes going to be flying in, or are these $2 million planes going to be habitual?
Good morning, Council. Lindsay Johnson for the record. I don't have exact numbers. We anticipate we'd have additional transient aircraft coming in. It's something we could evaluate and provide more data on for future economic impact for a new terminal
I would think
building.
for this council, that would be very beneficial to at least, I think it's mainly the financial dollars that those transit would potentially bring in. All right, thanks. Appreciate all you do out there, Lindsay. All right.
So I guess I can make a motion, I guess, if you're all ready. Like the past budget operations we've had, I will pass or approve this budget holding the 500,000 for somewhere else, if that's what we need to do. How's that?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Reynolds,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Dills,
Yes.
Rodriguez.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
So just for clarification, are we taking the airport investment and putting it in the bucket of money we have for the 1.1 and adding to that? Is that the intent of the motion?
Stay firm.
Okay.
And then if Lindsay can, I think, down the line as far as kind of give us.
Then we decide where we take that money and do a budget amendment. It's not an automatic to start drawings on a building until we figure out our capacity on these other issues, from my perspective.
All right, Mayor and Council, next we have the Water Division, which is tab 19, page 319. We have a total FY27 request of $7,020,618. The majority of that, which is coming from the water fund itself.
Chris, a question.
Yes.
Coyote Springs Well, that was just on our agenda, I believe, and approving that moving forward. So I'm a little confused that we just approved that and that's supposed to go to construction or happening. And now we're saying we're 500,000 for 2027.
Mayor, Council President, I'm sorry, I don't remember exactly what the action item was on Monday night's council. John and Tom might be able to.
Okay, John, please. This is,
Yeah.
John.
Mayor, Councilman Bills, John Spencer, Director of Water Resources. The award on Monday was for the development of the well itself. The pumps, the pump station, all the auxiliary portions to actually make that well functioning still need to be designed and constructed and funded.
Okay, so this is just getting the casing in the ground
That is correct.
and proving that we got water flow.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, all right, thank you. So this other 500's to then get a building, pumps and power, et cetera.
Currently, there is funding for portions of that in this fiscal year. This will be the remaining portion that we need to finalize that full project to build out.
How soon will you be bidding it to where we know is the full 500 needed, or is that just kind of a ballpark at this point?
So that's based on the estimates that we've received thus far from the designers.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Brunner?
Yes, Councilman Rodriguez.
So, John, M&M subdivision waterline project, are we funding a project here? Or is this are we working alongside a developer?
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, we are funding this project. This subdivision is a subdivision that we acquired previously from United Water, at least the water portion of it. So we are the ones that are responsible for maintaining the water system within that subdivision.
Mayor, if I could.
So half of it's out of impact fees is what the chart's showing, is that right? And the other half is?
Mayor, Councilman Bills, the M&M subdivision is not out of impact fees.
Well, I'm seeing on Coyote Springs well, 500,000 fund, and then it has 500,000 under impact fees for a total budget of $1 million.
Correct. Those are two separate projects. Coyote Springs is the production well, the domestic well. The M&M subdivision project that Councilman Rodriguez is referring to is a separate project. We need to upgrade the water lines within that subdivision.
My error, I see it down here on the other line, sorry.
Councilman Griffin, I think I heard your voice.
I'm just trying to clarify, John, common practice. I assume in every neighborhood in the city, when a water line needs replaced, that's the city's responsibility, not necessarily the HOA or whatever organization that is managing that neighborhood, correct?
Mayor, Councilman Griffin, that is correct.
And does the city ever impose fees or dues on HOAs to pay back? I'm getting in a rabbit hole. Maybe I shouldn't because we only have 8 minutes. So I just wanted to clarify this is common practice that we're not actually funding a development, but it's infrastructure for a neighborhood.
Mayor, Councilman Griffin, that is correct. This is an upgrade to their existing system. Their system is old. It's been a challenge over the last couple of years to operate and maintain it under its existing condition. It is no different than any of the alley projects we do within the city or within any subdivision where we need to upgrade the pipes.
So is this
Thank you.
Mayor, Council, I think, Council Griffin, I think you're asking about HOAs paying for infrastructure. They pay for that through the rates. So that's why we have the rates, is they paid for the service, and that's how we fund some of these water line replacements.
So
Thank you.
Is this subdivision being annexed, or is it still going to be enclaved and we're just providing service for it?
Mayor, Councilman Bills, yes, it's still enclaved. The city has not grown out to the limits where it can be annexed at this time.
So in doing this, did we get some type of agreements with the homeowners that at such time that we can annex?
Mayor, Councilman Bills, I'm not certain of the agreement that was made in regards to this subdivision.
Okay.
So in situations like this where they are not part of the city, they pay double the rate, and that's how we kind of make up some of it. So it's not, they're not paying property tax in the city, but they are paying more into the enterprise fund.
Okay, 5 minutes, I'm sorry.
Mayor?
Yeah, just a minute, just a minute. I got my blood pressure up a little bit. So we're increasing the fees for these folks, but they're in the county. So why is not the county taking care of this?
Because county doesn't have public water system.
Right. Okay, so, yeah, to me, city should not be spending it, the current city taxpayers should not be helping out with it. And then Mark's gonna clarify all this for us.
Yes.
Get my blood pressure back down. Okay.
My blood pressure is also through the roof, so I can't wait for this as well.
Mayor and City Council members, for the record, Mark Stoyer, Senior Director of Development Services. In these cases of these enclaves and we're providing water to, we do have a pre-annexation agreement that at some time in the future, they will be annexed into the city. In the meantime, like Tom indicated, they pay about double the amount of fees for these projects.
I'm not one that's usually for forced annexation, but this would be an exception.
Yes.
We're doing all this work.
Yes, sir.
My opinion again.
Correct.
Is forced annexation a possibility on this property, or do we have to be contiguous with it?
You gotta be contiguous.
This is, my blood pressure is probably double Darrell Bruner's right now. How many properties in the city of Nampa do we have that have a similar situation?
Several.
That wasn't me, by the way, that was Council President Bills.
Hey,
Councilman Bill's
I'm just
blood
saying,
pressure's up, not Darrell?
well, you got to look at the health and welfare side of things. People, if they run into a situation such that they don't have potable water, and whether they can pull together the financing to re-drill a new well for a small subdivision or not, or is the city able to come alongside and help and charge double on the regular water rates to help offset some of that cost. However, it's a great deal of capital that we're laying out, but at the same time of doing it, I believe Public Works has identified that location will also service future development and be helping with capacity down road. And that's why part of the impact fee monies is paying for putting in this well.
So additional clarification.
Yes? Oops, sorry, Mayor. Get me involved for.
The force of habit, I'm sure.
I told my wife she could sub for me, Frank, so you're fine.
Mayor, if I could,
Yes.
is
Blood pressure.
double sufficient for what we're charging? I can't imagine that double on their water rate even is going to scratch the surface on the cost that the cities aren't taking on for each of these developments. Should it be quadruple? Is double enough? We've opened a can of worms for me, and I just want something to help bring me down here.
So, Mayor, for some clarification, we purchased this water right and this water infrastructure from United Water some years back. So we currently have an obligation to provide water service to this subdivision. So that's something that was done previously. So we're just trying to handle this situation as we do with anyone else where there is a deferred maintenance need within this subdivision, and we need to upgrade that system to meet our obligations.
Not today, I know Tom's going to speak, but what I would be interested in, I would think the council would be interested in, is how many other situations, as Council President said, that we also have the water rights in those areas too and are responsible. I would be very curious to know throughout the city.
Mayor, Council, so Mark just said there's not that many, it's 5 or 6 pre-annex agreements, situations like this. So what I want to mention is that I know you're looking at this individual subdivision, but you need to think about the system as a whole because it's all looped together. So if this breaks, it's going to affect somebody in the city. And so we need to maintain our system so it's all of it's working because it's all looped together, all the pumps are all together, so it's just, it's part of our system and it's something we need to invest to keep our system healthy.
Tom,
Mayor, if
what
I
is
could-
this subdivision?
Who is it? Who just spoke with Victor? Oh, okay, Councilman Rodriguez.
Tom, where is this subdivision?
You know, Mark? It's town. John.
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, this is, I would say it would be the southwest area of our impact area off of, I think Lewis Lane is one of the streets that's near. I don't know exactly the crossroads at this time.
Okay,
Mayor?
thank you.
Yes.
On a specific, very specific, because now you've got my head thinking about all the development in South Nampa. I'm thinking of Jack's Place in way South Nampa, CBH development, brand new development. Are they annexed into the city or is that another county property that we're just servicing our utilities to?
Anybody respond to Councilman's question?
There's one project out there that it's not annexed into the city because it doesn't touch the city, but the city allowed the developer to take services to it. And again, they work out a fee structure deal with the city, is my understanding. Whether they've got the city's got the right to annex future, I don't know how those development agreements were put together, but there's one or two out in that area. Well, there's several out in that area that have gone in both north of Lewis and south of Lewis.
Okay, Mark Stoyer, yep.
Yeah, Mayor, council members, the northeast corner of Sunny Ridge and Lewis, I believe, that CBH development there, we do have a pre-annexation with that development, and also, I think on the south side in Lewis, those larger homes right there, we also have an agreement there as well.
Yeah, but the ones around the charter school are not annexed in, that's still county ground.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah, and on the north side there as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually,
We need to move ahead, and I didn't
Mayor
have
Brunner.
blood pressure pill this morning, so we're good. Okay, but what's
I see
the
that-
action of the council? And you want further discussion?
On municipality, utility, domestic water, I move that we approve the capital budget.
You have a second?
I would
Second.
go with you on this one, David, but I would like some more information on M&M subdivision from the legal side. If we're obligated or what the long-term cost will be. How's that?
Yeah, I agree, and as Doug has said, these projects individually will still come back before council for explanation and more detail.
This may be a topic you want to devote a council meeting or a workshop to, but not necessarily the budget process.
Yep.
With calming
Yeah.
dogs with us, okay, all right.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Councilman.
Okay, I believe we have a motion and a second, so roll call, please.
Skog,
Yes.
Councilmember Reynolds has left the meeting. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Bills,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carries.
Okay, Chris, we've had quite a sabbatical. Okay.
We did, but the good news is we only have a few more. So next we have irrigation, tab 20, page 351, for a total FY '27 capital request of $12,411,252,000.
So moved.
Second.
Motion, okay, we've had the second, so we're ready for roll call, please.
Skog,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Bills,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
All right, next we have water renewal, tab 21, page 373, for a total FY '27 capital request of $31,664,737.
So one
I
comment
have-
I have for water renewal. We're talking about adding on to existing building. It's what I saw in there. The one part I'm wondering is, long-term better deal is whether we keep remodeling and adding on, or whether we should be taking some of the ground that we purchased a couple of years ago and potentially building a new building and use this building for possibly some maintenance storage issues or something to that effect. And so I'm questioning, we're budgeting and know this is gonna come back, but I'm just raising the issue of whether we keep focused on remodel and keep changing the existing, or are we better off to come out of the ground for, you know, putting a building up that will take care of the next 30 or 40 years? So I'm just putting that out to the team here, that I think you ought to look at that. I realize it'd be a little bit of a walk or potential distance from the actual plant operations, but something to be, in my mind, should be discussed. And
Mayor.
whether we keep remodeling over and over the existing buildings.
John Spencer, please.
Mayor, Councilman Bills, a portion of this funds that we're requesting will go to look at the facilities as a whole, the whole site, to evaluate whether a remodel is the best and most efficient course of action.
Mayor Brunner,
Yes. You're on, Councilman.
John, I have a question for you. The Purdom Lift Station upgrade planning, 500,000. Now, we've been directing a lot of money and funds toward the Purdom drain and project. Did we already allot 500,000 in the 26 budget? Now you're wanting more? Is that what this is?
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, this is a completely separate project, although it's tied to the Purdom sewer. This is an existing lift station, and as capacity is needed, the upgrades are needed. It's part of the long-term master plan for this lift station. This lift station ultimately will become a regional lift station as needed.
It was, yes, but I also understand that the developers in this area put some money down on this. Is that right or not?
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, that is correct.
So what's the total price then?
Councilman Rodriguez, we're evaluating currently we're evaluating the need and the best course of action for the upgrade of this lift station. And we have a consultant on board who's working with us to do that evaluation to determine what the immediate needs are and then long-term needs moving forward with overall cost associated with that.
So you just need the 500,000 just as a, I guess, just as a beginning point then. You may not use it, right?
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, we know we need to add one pump. So there is funds in this fiscal year to help progress with that, but we also need more of the longer term planning for the regional system itself.
Okay, I understand. I don't know if I agree, but I understand. Thank you.
Okay, do we have a motion? This area?
This on water renewal, correct?
Yes.
Correct.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Gog,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
I make a motion to approve the stormwater budget.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Gog,
Yes.
Griffin,
Yes.
Rodriguez,
Yes.
Bills.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
It's an advantage of having stormwater last when you're beyond the timeline, right?
Mayor and council,
Yes.
just real quick, I wanted to clarify, just to make sure I got the changes correct. So we were removing the 145,000 for the gazebo from the parks, the 486,850 from the cemetery for the scattering garden, and the 500,000 from the airport for the terminal building. Is that correct?
And we're setting those in a bucket.
Just to clarify, Chris,
Yes.
the 465,000 as well as the 688,000 from previous years, is that my understanding? It should be about 1.1 million.
Holistically, yes. The 486,000 is just from the FY27 budget. The 686,000 are from fiscal years 25 and 26. So we're going to approach that portion a little bit differently.
Through an amendment.
No worries. Just wanted to clarify it was still being considered, though. Thank you.
Chris, any other summary you needed?
I just want to clarify our total capital request with those three items being removed is now $104,406,538.
Any questions, council?
Follow-up question, 392, page 392 in the book. I wasn't quite clear on this one, if it's in the right location or
So
it's a street deal that's, so I didn't know what's
it
happening.
is, yeah, and I can see, Mayor, Councilman, I can see how this is slightly confusing. So this is a streets project, but on a lot of our projects, there are portions that are funded by the different divisions. So if we look at tab 21, that's our water renewal division. And in the very bottom table, you'll see the bottom line is for wastewater for $137,000. And that's why this streets division project is falling into the water renewal division.
As opposed to being budgeted under streets and all?
It is budgeted under streets as well, but it is just the,
Okay.
if you look at that first
So it
line,
shows this piece coming in under that item?
correct.
Okay, thank you.
Chris, I just want a clarification on the airport building terminal. We approved it, but that's going to be standing by depending, right?
Mayor, Councilman Rodriguez, if I understood correctly, we removed the general gov portion for the terminal building, which was the $500,000. We're going to put that into a special pot with the scattering garden portion and the gazebo portion to be used as council wishes at a later date.
Okay, thank you.
Any further, Chris, Doug, or? Okay. I'm sorry, we're 12 minutes over. I don't like that, but we at least we did it, right? So, Madam Clerk, are we okay to have a motion for adjournment? Okay, I think you guys will be anxious for that. Who wants to make it?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right,
Aye.
we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you, Mayor, Council.
I know you had nothing better to be doing, right? Yes, Mark, thank you.